So I'm going to be starting on the passenger side fender headlight, and this is the driver's side. So I'm going to try to reproduce this. And this is what I'm starting with, and as you can see it has a whole bunch of body filler in it. And I guess both sides are wrecked. This one, the headlight actually fit good, but I got to grind it all off and get rid of all that paint and see what's actually underneath of it and make sure there's something I can weld onto the other fender. Otherwise I might have to straighten it out a little bit. I just need the ring, so see how it goes. So what you're looking at is the driver's side fender. I'm looking at the headlight, and I'm going to attempt to do the passenger side headlight now. You can see it fits pretty well. I'll show you the outside. So I don't have that adjusted or anything, I just kind of stuck it in there. And there's definitely some body work to be done over here. But I'm going to attempt to do the same thing on this other side. So we'll see how that goes. So the ring off the Mini Cooper was wrecked. I knew the other side was wrecked. I didn't know this side was wrecked. It's really beat up. Had about an 1/8 inch of mud on this side over here where you could see they yanked all this out. And you can see that they hammered on it so much they twisted that corner up. So I'm going to have to reform this ring. Same way I reformed the other ring. Yeah, what do you expect when you pay $45 for a whole hood? So it looks like it's got a gap down here at the bottom, and then it's pushed in on the side. It's got a gap on the top, so I'm going to have to pull this side out and then twist that whole entire lip down, because the lip's holding the whole entire light up in the air, so it's really not acting like a bucket at all. Guess somebody really had a big accident with this thing. So that's my template I used on the other side, and it's pretty good. I'm going to use it on this. And I think you can see how that's bent up in the air, that whole left edge. So I'm going to try dollying that down, and we'll see if that maybe makes that left side go out to the left. So it's been a few minutes of me bending on it and pushing on it and beating on it. A little gap right there. Too much of a gap here. Still too tight on the sides, need to yank it out to the left more. But it's getting closer, it's starting to fit down in the bucket. Okay, so here I am an hour later. And I'm not done, but it's a lot better than it was. It's too tight here. It's a little too loose here, so I need to kind of oval it out a little bit more. But in general, it's fitting pretty flush. Getting closer. Another 10 minutes or so, I think I'll have it. So I had to expand this thing about 1/8 of an inch in that direction. You can see I put that little milling machine bolt in there and welded it on both sides. Seemed to work pretty good. Alright, I got it in pretty good shape now. It's close enough that I can start on it, because it's going to bend all over the place on welded anyways. So I don't want to get too ridiculous on it. A little bit low right there. Of course, that's where the metal wall has to bend down from the fender and match it. So I'll be beating on that with a hammer anyways. So I made a template to go around this driver's side fender. I'm going to flip it over and stick it on the passenger side, and we'll see if I can line up the headlight where to cut into the fender. So this is the template I used last time to start the cutting process. Now I'm going to put that on the other side on top of the paper template. So there's the two templates. You can see they line up pretty well. So that'll be a good start. Then I have a white oval template. I'm going to lay that on there and get the inside edge. I'm going to stay really far away because I'll be cutting that material out and forming that whole inside edge in order to match into the headlight bucket. So what I did was took the ring, the headlight ring from the passenger side, and I just duct taped it on there. And I did that because what I'm doing is lining up. See how there's a little cutout on the left, and there's a small groove on the right. There's one up here at the top. And then of course the holes have to line up. Which there's a hole there. Then there's a hole right there. And then I'm marking this thing so that I have that mark right there and a hopefully horizontal line, which I don't know if that'll work out. But I'm marking the body lines. that one over there on the right. So hopefully that'll line up when I put it over there on the other side, and then I'll take some more measurements once I get it a little bit closer. So there it is. You got it pretty close. More good use of duct tape. So I'm going to start tacking at the bottom and working it. I need to beat on it in this area a little bit to push the ring out that way. I need to grind a little bit off the fender yet, but I think I got a good start to it. And then I can cut those other pieces and fold them down. I have to see what I did on the other side. If I cut those and folded it first, I'm not even sure. Or if I started tacking and then folded it, I might have actually cut them and folded it before I actually welded anything. That's why I recorded all this stuff. So I went back and looked at my old video of the other side, of the driver's side, and saw how I did this, and I had tacked it in and then cut it, and this time I cut it with the ring out of there because it gives me a little more room. But I still have to bend this all down and get that all to touch and contour it, which is a big job, really big job. So I'm still debating on how to do that the best. I don't know if the way I did it was the best, or I think this time I'm going to try to bend it down previously and then weld it in. So I got the hole all roughed in now. I cut the sheet metal down so I can get the headlight in. You can see I bent it in somewhat, but I still have to trim off in between the cuts that I made because the metal's starting to overlap. And so now I just have to get it as far as pointing to the right or to the left. It's in the right position, but I just have to get it angled right. And so I got to take some more measurements. Over here, I put some measured up from the bottom of the fender and put some increments on there, and then I measured over across. So I like basically went over this way and measured down and tried to figure out what angle it was on, because that's about the only way I could figure out how to measure it. Yeah, so I'm trying to get this angle right. You can see I got this thing level, and it's sitting on this 15-inch mark from the bottom of the fender, and then I'm at somewhere around 5/8. But on the other fender over there on the driver's side, I was at about 3/16. So I need to push that thing in so that the headlight is more centered, so the headlight points towards the middle of the vehicle. And I think when I did the one on the driver's side, I did it so that I actually put the headlight in and looked at where it was pointed. So I want it to be the same so that all the contours end up being the same from fender to fender. So I only have to fit that one piece of thin sheet metal that I cut up there at the top, and then I have to do these two sort of triangular shaped pieces. And I decided I'm going to reuse the metal that I removed from where I put the light in here, because it's the right thickness and had sort of a good contour. Didn't take much to make it fit. So this is before all the main welding takes place. And I'll show you what it looks like afterwards before I dolly it. So I got a lot of the welding done. This kind of dipped in on me. I'm going to have to cut that piece out. Otherwise I got to put about 3/16 of filler in. I don't really want to do that. So now you can see what it's starting to look like. I'm going to turn the lights on and see if it's pointing straight. So you can see that string, it's about 8 inches to the left of that hinge. And I got the two lights on, and the truck's a little bit crooked in the garage stall, so it's pointing over a little bit. You can see it's pretty well centered, and that's about 8 feet away. So the lights might be crossing farther out somewhere, but they're generally not too bad, considering they're not even meant for this vehicle. So there you can see the lights now. I'm lighting up those bushes over there, and those are about 30 feet away. And they're not pointed up in the air. Those bushes are probably only about 2.5 feet high or so. And this truck is jacked up a good foot in the air. So they'll drop even lower than that. So it seems like it's lined up pretty good. Just trying to give you another shot of it. And I think I'm going to end the video there. So have a happy New Year's.